Best to at the end of the day save Hillary from big trouble. She just covered Hillary's tracks. Hillary Clinton keeps up her flexibility from justice because of a serendipitous mix of a staff of extraordinary lawyers, a strong media, Democratic Party authorities who will run obstruction for her, and a justice system that is skewed toward her. Wipe out some of those, and she would be set out in the ring. The Benghazi disaster and scandal are not leaving at any point in the near future. Hillary can issue her dissent. Why does it matter? All she needs, however, it makes a distinction, particularly to the individuals who lost friends and family in this disaster. And keep in mind that their families have not won any rounds against her yet. The fight is not over. Parents who lost their kids in the Benghazi outrage have recorded a wrongful demise claim against Hillary. While a judge who is an Obama deputy tossed the case out, it's not over, as the lawyer speaking to the parents have guaranteed an interest of that judge's choice. As a bit of review, note that, in 2012, during an attack on the diplomatic compound in Benghazi, Libya, 4 Americans were killed. Among them was State Department Information Officer Sean Smith and CIA operative Tyrone Woods. Smith's mother, Patricia, spoke at the Republican National Convention and told convention attendees that the night before the attack, her son said, "Mom, I am going to die." He explained that all security was pulled from the embassy and that he was never given a response as to why. When she met Mrs. Clinton, the story she got did nothing to change the mother's opinion of what happened. Patricia said, "When I saw Hillary Clinton at Sean's coffin ceremony, just days later, she looked me squarely in the eye and told me a video was responsible." She claimed she was never told the real reason her son was killed despite numerous requests for answers and declared, "I blame Hillary Clinton personally for the death of my son." According to Politico, the lawsuit filed by Smith's mother and another parent of one killed claimed that, it's a direct result of defendant Clinton's reckless handling of this classified, sensitive information. Islamic terrorists were able to obtain the whereabouts of Ambassador Christopher Stevens and orchestrate, plan, and execute the now infamous September 11, 2012 attack. In other words, Hillary's mishandling of classified information through her infamous private email server has reared its ugly head again. But why in the world would the judge dismiss this case? Oh wait, she was appointed by Obama. On Friday, U.S. District Court Judge Amy Berman Jackson sided with Clinton and ruled in favor of her motion to dismiss the case. The 29-page ruling began with an acknowledgement of the deaths. The untimely death of plaintiff's sons is tragic, and the court does not mean to minimize the unspeakable loss that plaintiffs have suffered in any way. However, Jackson ruled that given legal standards, the plaintiffs did not provide sufficient facts to support their claims that Clinton defamed them, put them in a false light, or intentionally inflicted emotional distress. Although in her ruling, Jackson made it a point to note that nothing about her decision should be viewed as her opinion about Clinton's use of a private email server or whether her statements following the attack were accurate. So once more, another security for Hillary. The rejection of this case by a judge who is an Obama representative is not the finish of the story. Larry Klayman, who is the lawyer for the parents, has guaranteed an interest of the expulsion. Give us a chance to expectation it is conceded. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. H.T. Independent Journal Review. Game changer. Judge Napolitano makes significant breakthrough in the Obama spy scandal that has sent shockwaves all across the U.S. You'll be shocked, disregarding the attention on Special Counsel Mueller and the test into alleged irregularities between the Trump campaign team and Russia. The Standard News once in a while figures out how to invest a touch of energy in the arrest of Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz's longtime IT staff member for bank fraud, and the allegations that he transferred confidential or even classified materials to those outside the United States. They maintain a strategic distance from that story when conceivable, however, it's not leaving. While the experts of the mainstream media keep us concentrated on the Trump-Russia story, similar to great stage performers, they mislead us far from what is truly going ahead with Wasserman Schultz. This would incorporate likely Obama Muslim spy Imran Awan and his current capture, and a bundle of different Democrats who are probably going to be made up for lost time in a scandal where genuine national secrets were sold to outside specialists. Judge Andrew Napolitano is not one to give this issue a chance to bite the dust or stay as a second thought. He is presenting the defense that Awan not just approached each congressperson's email account, yet that he sold this data to operators of outside governments. It takes almost no creative energy to think about every one of the utilizations antagonistic countries could make of the data contained in the majority of our congressperson's email accounts. Awan was taken into custody when he was trying to escape from the country to Pakistan. He had just wired nearly $300,000 from a house office building to Pakistan and was attempting to carry $12,000 in cash on his person when agents arrested him. It was first reported by the media that he was arrested for bank fraud, but the details of the case were left out, specifically if there were other crimes he may have committed. Any evidence or facts they had were greatly tempered by starting off the explanations with the phrase "conservatives say." So, what are the authorities really concerned about? You can count bank fraud out. What really has investigators fishing around is the access that he had to the email and accounts of members of the Congress, including most conspicuously W. Wasserman Schultz, who was the head of the DNC, as Judge Andrew Napolitano notes in the video below. He was the IT administrator for over a dozen members of the Congress, yet what did he even do? As Special Counsel Mueller conducts his very much advanced investigation concerning the alleged sharing of some type of data between competitor Trump's campaign team and Russian agents, we have the genuine case in advance with one Democratic staff part officially in arrest for a lawful offense. We likewise have the FBI investigating if Awan utilized his position with Democratic congresspersons to get to and offer touchy or even classified data to outside interests. We likewise realize that he and his family who were additionally on the administration finance were paid a great many dollars for their administrations, far above what those incomparable positions make. Why? The shout of the Democrats will be Trump is a criminal as a push to keep the consideration of people in general off their own particular scandal encompassing Wasserman Schultz and who knows what number of her partners. Try not to give them a chance to escape with a diversion. They are not that great of mystical performers. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. H.T. Right Wing News. Caught. Anti-Trump leakers identified. Look who was hired to spy on President Trump. At the point when previous President Obama left office after Donald Trump was confirmed as the new President of the United States last January, he exited a framework of deep state agents set up to keep an eye on Trump and his staff's each move. Their occupation was to assemble data that could be utilized by Obama and organization to undermine and eventually annihilate Donald Trump's administration. Yet, the Donald is cleaning house to dispose of that issue. From Breitbart, at least two separate news organizations are reporting that three distinct leakers have been identified at the White House and that President Donald Trump is expected to fire them when he returns from his first overseas trip. CBS News has confirmed from two sources that three leakers of classified information at the White House have been identified and are expected to be fired, CBS News reported this week, adding, officials within the Trump White House believe leaks of Mr. Trump's conversation with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov are a deliberate attempt by officials who are holdovers from President Obama's administration and are trying to damage the Trump presidency. In addition, this week, Chief on American News Network, OAN, White House correspondent Trey Yingst also reported that three White House leakers have been identified and referred to the proper authorities. Yingst wrote on Twitter that the three leakers have been carelessly leaking classified information to hurt President Trump politically and that Trump is expected to fire multiple people connected with the network of leakers upon his return to the White House. It has been reported that the identities of three of Barack Obama's settled-in mystery spies have been found. They are currently short clocks before the hatchet falls. The three, would you be able to trust it? 3. Leakers are slated to be let go as quickly as time permits. That the three agents keeping an eye on Trump and his staff ought to be indicted is an easy decision, yet what ought to happen is the ring pioneer needs to run down with them. Furthermore, we as a whole know that's identity, none other than Barack Obama, as he has been a persistent issue for Trump since the very beginning. Obama's deep state interfering in the issues of the Trump Organization is a piece of his central change arrange. It is completely dissidence and might be a conspiracy, too, since he's doing it to help Hillary Clinton, illicit workers, and Muslim terrorists. For whatever length of time that President Trump keeps on finding and evacuate these deep state agents, Obama will at last quit deduction he's responsible for America. What's more, from that point, ideally Obama will leave and allow America to sit unbothered. H. T. Briet. Three Republicans just double-crossed Americans who voted for them in the back. You won't believe who they are. The Democrats in Congress have done their absolute best to hinder any advance that President Trump has wanted for the nation. Furthermore, they've been massively effective at it. Be that as it may, they had offer assistance. The reality is, the Dems can't close down Trump without anyone else's input. They essentially don't have the numbers. Republicans claim the House, the Senate, and the presidency. In principle, they can do whatever they need, at whatever point they need. Also, the Democrats couldn't do a thing to stop them. Which implies, if any of Trump's designs come up short, it's not quite recently the Democrats' blame, it's Republicans, as well. Furthermore, there are three species that are wrecking any possibility we need to settle our human services system. Vibriet Bart, pro-abortion liberal Republican sends. Susan Collins, me, Lisa Murkowski, UG, and Shelley Moore Capito, WV, say they will not vote in favor of an Obamacare repeal bill. That decision puts the effort to both repeal Obamacare and defunct Planned Parenthood out of reach for the Republican Party. Remember that what these ladies are declining to vote in favor of is precisely what Trump and Republicans have guaranteed America for quite a long time, repealing Obamacare, and closure cash for premature births. And every one of the three of these ladies made that same promise. We know this, since they as of now voted for cancel. Thing is, they did it a while back when Obama was still in office. When he'd veto it. What's more, when their votes wouldn't make any difference by any stretch of the imagination. In the 2015 Obamacare repeal bill, which passed both the House and the Senate, Collins and Murkowski voted to remove the bill's provision to eliminate much of the Planned Parenthood's federal funding. Capito kept her promise to her constituents to repeal Obamacare by voting in favor of the 2015 repeal bill, well aware that Obama would veto it. Now, with a Republican in the White House who will actually sign the bill to repeal the disastrous health care reform, she said in a statement that her opposition to the repeal just 2 years later is based on the concerns and needs of the West Virginians. To put it plainly, she voted only for a peer. It was everyone at the demonstration. What's more, that goes for every one of the three Congresswomen. McConnell and other true Republicans are endeavoring to ensure the repeal vote still passes. Be that as it may, the standpoint is inauspicious. Is it any ask why Trump supporters don't confide in Beltway Republicans? What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. H. T. Briet. This is the judge who just took away one of our fundamental, constitutional rights. You'll be shocked. At the point when a court returns a decision that is unmistakably at fluctuation with our Constitution, you realize that you are managing a progressive judge who sees the Constitution as a report that is appropriately translated not as the originators initially expected, but rather as contemporary societal standards recommend. To put it gruffly, such judges trust they can correct the Constitution's importance by judicial fiat, in spite of the fact that they could never admit to such. The First Amendment is clear. It stipends protection to the general population's right to freedom to speak freely and their preferred opportunity to rehearse the confidence. The government's capacity to encroach on those freedoms is to a great degree constrained, confined to issues, for example, defamation or connivances to confer savagery. Hence, when a government court decided that the inhabitants of New Jersey are not permitted to reprimand Islam, that court has issued a decision that disregards our Constitution. There is no constitutional security against being affronted. Truth be told, individuals are allowed to state all way of hostile things given they are not impelling their crowd to submit savagery, and gave they are not criticizing anybody. Along these lines, we have a decision that must be toppled. The First Amendment guarantees that the government cannot suppress free speech or favor a religion, but a court in New Jersey violates both of those promises. According to a report from the Thomas More Law Center, residents of Bernards Township, New Jersey, have been banned from bringing up the topic of Muslims or Islam at a forthcoming public hearing. That public forum is intended to determine whether a mosque should be built in the community. By what means can there even be such a verbal confrontation if Islam can't be mentioned? The judge's ruling, not just violations the Constitution, it has neither rhyme nor reason. No commentary on Islam or Muslims will be permitted, states a legally binding court order about the mosque hearing. The court has plainly indicated a preference to the Muslim faith over others. This is the place the court blunders. In response to the controversial order, the Thomas More Law Center has filed a lawsuit in the name of Christopher and Loretta Quick, who live just 200 feet away from the proposed mosque site. The TMLC's lawsuit alleges that the Bernards Township's settlement agreement constitutes a prior restraint on speech based on content, as well as a violation of the First Amendment Establishment Clause because it prefers Islam over other religions, the Law Center explained. TMLC goes ahead to additionally clarify its reason for this claim, while claiming that the township had a religious animus against Muslims. The ISBR, Islamic Society of Basking Ridge, hid from the public view its animus towards Christians and Jews, by not only hiding any Christian and anti-Semitic verses published on its website, but also hiding its significant ties to the ISNA, explained attorney Richard Thompson in a news release. Instead of standing up to defend its citizens against ISBR's hate-filled anti-Semitic and anti-Christian bias, the township colluded with ISBR's civilization jihad by capitulating to the payment of millions of dollars to ISBR, allowing the construction of the new mosque and Islamic center in violation of zoning codes, and now even suppressing the speech about Islam or Muslims at a public meeting, Thompson continued. Individuals regularly disagree, commonly significantly. Subsequently, the requirement for the First Amendment to secure the right of the general population to express their difference, even with the administration. Different freedoms can't exist if the general population can be quieted in light of the fact that what they say is offensive to some group. There is an inclination and a genuine risk in our nation to shield particular groups, for example, Muslims, from feedback while enabling individuals from these exceptional groups to say whatever they need in regards to others. This is opposite the First Amendment is about. While we may differ with certain danger, and even think that it's exceptionally hostile, unless it strays into some particular region, for example, impelling to submit viciousness, it is secured. The bother and disturbance of hearing perspectives that are in utter detestation to one's own particular must be subordinated to the flexibility of others to make or publish their opinions. It is highly unlikely a free society can exist if the government can outline what the general population can state. Hence the First Amendment must stand untouched. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. H.T. Conservative Tribune.